Hello, welcome back to Beauty Bee. It is December, therefore it is the season for Year of Beauty review. Now, I wanted to go over what I brought in and what I got rid of this year as far as my makeup went. A little bit of this was going off of memory, and quite frankly, everything pre-COVID is just a blur. Really, the year and a half or so pre-COVID, it feels like an era in my life. Then COVID happened, it's like break. Everything since then seems like quite recent, like happened quite recently. Everything before then is like a bygone era. So that was my really long, convoluted way of saying that my memory might not be perfect pre-March, but I think it's pretty close overall. I will be, let me scoot to the side so I can put up pictures of my collection, putting red boxes around things that came into my life, but I did not pay for. So Sephora gift with purchases, influencer items, a couple of hand-me-downs from my mom. Stuff like that will be boxed in red. Everything boxed in yellow I bought this year in 2020. Let's start with complexion products. Now, I think I actually did pretty well this year. I finished one primer, which is of course not in the photo because it's hopefully being recycled somewhere. I also decluttered one powder. This was a CoverGirl powder that looked really spot on when I applied it and oxidized and turned me into an Oompa Loompa over the course of the day. So that needed to go. At the beginning of the year, the complexion portion of my collection was really very small. I think I had one concealer and 3 powders, so 4 products overall. Over the course of the year, I have added 2 primers. One I bought, one came from Influencer, one foundation / tinted moisturizer, and one concealer. So overall, I think this area is not too bad. I wanted to put this category first because I feel like it's a good example of a category where the pace of things coming in really matches the pace of things coming out. I really want those two to line up because I feel like my collection as a whole is right about where I want it to be as far as size goes. And if I just keep adding more things and not so much is coming out, it's not going to stay there for very long. Now let's move on to cheek products. Here is an area where there was a lot of addition going on. Now, I used up nothing and I decluttered nothing, but I added 4 blushes. 2 were from Wet n Wild. They were the Hummingbird blushes that they came out with, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago for their spring collection. Those are super glowy products. I really like them. I also added the Milk Makeup lip and cheek tint as well as a multi-stick from e.l.f. So 4 blushes. I also added 4 highlighters. They're right here. Yes, I know this is not a highlighter for me at all, but it's counting in this category because it's still here. I suspect that I will end up pressing this into an eyeshadow pan and then being down to 3 because I can't use this even at my darkest, and even on my body it's still too much. But yeah, my cheek category increased by 8 products. Great. Now we're moving to eye accessories. These are just all the things that go on your eye that aren't eyeshadow. This is another category where I think I do a really good job of bringing things in and moving things out at a good pace. The overall change for me as far as these products go is that I have added a glitter primer, which I had not had before, and I added 1 eyeliner, which is currently a backup. I am working on finishing up a Kat Von D tattoo liner sample that I've had for a year and a half or more and just refuses to die. Now for eyeshadow, which is probably the biggest problem child category. I did declutter 3 palettes this year. All of them were due to faulty packaging. 2 were Wet n Wild's quads, and the hinges on those quads just break. It is a matter of when, not if, those things will snap on you. And I hit win for 2 of them this year. And I needed to toss them because one was causing some plastic to get into the shadows, which we're not messing with that. I like being able to see. The other one just made a mess. It was too much powder everywhere. It just wasn't worth keeping around anymore. The third eyeshadow palette that I got rid of was a Sleek Makeup Super Mini palette. It was about the size of a credit card. It was very small, and it had 12 super tiny little pans. I couldn't get my finger into them really. I couldn't get my brush into them particularly. Now the matte formula on those shades was not particularly impressive, but the shimmer formula was really nice. I ended up repressing that into a couple of empty pans that I had in other palettes, and I really like it. Overall, that resulted in a 20 pan decrease. Also finished 3 shades completely and added 9 new pans. So I hit pan and 9 new shades, which sounds great. Except for now we get to the part where I add a bunch of eyeshadow. I added 73 pans of eyeshadow this year, which is not great. Yeah, that happened. Unless I'm planning on using up 70 odd shadows in the next year, which goes somewhere beyond unlikely and into the realm of near impossible. I need to calm down a little bit. Lipstick is another area where the pace of things coming in just does not line up with the pace of things going out at all. I finished 1 lip crayon, and I know I finished at least 1 lipstick. I really feel like I finished a second one at some point right before quarantine, but as we discussed earlier, that's the miasma. I've got no idea when anything pre-March actually happened. I also finished a blister pack of NARS Orgasm that both came in and left my life this year, and I decluttered somewhere around 6 lip products. Half of those were nice products that I just got rid of because they were old, and half of those, yes, they were a little bit older, but mostly they were gotten rid of because I just didn't wear them, or I had shades that were so similar that I vastly prefer. So right now we're down 9 over the course of the year. However, I added 14 lip products over the course of this year, and 4 of them were in the past like 2 weeks. So that number is not great. I would prefer not to be decluttering a lot of things next year. I think I probably will end up decluttering a few just because there are a couple things that are starting to get a little bit older and I suspect will turn on me before December of 2021. However, I don't think it should be 6. And I hope that I will be able to finish up a couple more things. I definitely have 2 lip products that are very much on their last legs right now and may actually be done before the end of 2020. But I think that I should be able to use up more than 3 lip products this year. You know, again, fingers. However, to get the number of products going out and the number of products coming in to be equal, I both need to increase the number going out and decrease the number coming in. So hopefully I will do a much better job of that in this year, 2021. I saved the best for last so that I could end up on a high note. As far as nails go, I finished 5 polishes this year, as well as 1 top coat of a gray and a navy, both of which were full size. I also used up a purple, a sort of taupe color, and a gold that were minis. So 5 polishes, as well as 1 top coat. I ended up decluttering 2 polishes. 1 was broken. The applicator on it had never been quite right. There was always something a little off about it, but it was so strange. I don't even know how to explain it. It was like it almost exploded. It was going so many different directions and it was barely attached to the wand itself anymore. So it was unusable. I ended up throwing that out. I also had to throw out one that had, I think, expired on me. It was an old NYC. It was from NYC, and I do not know when NYC stopped being, well, at least widely available, but I think maybe even in existence. But it was at least 6 or 7 years old, and I applied it one day and it just stank. And it lingered on my nails in such a weird way. I think I had to wash my hands 3 or 4 times before I couldn't smell this just death stench anymore. It was terrible. So overall, That means that I went down 8 products over the course of the year. I added, though, 6 nail polishes, 1 base coat, and 1 top coat. So if you do the math, that is a net change of nothing. I did a great job with nail polish, which was actually kind of surprising to me because I thought that I had added more than that over the course of the year, but I guess I didn't. Great. So hopefully in 2021, I will be closer to even on all of these categories. Let nails serve as an example. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear how you want your collection to change, as well as any insights you have on how your collection has changed over the past year. Thanks again for watching. I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing, and that I'll see you next time. Bye!